I've discussed the ancient Greek Tetras routine in length on this channel. It's not only an excellent way to plan workouts so that they include warm-ups, cool-downs, and breathing exercises, but it's also great for taking into account and addressing the psychological aspects related to training, like dealing with inactivity, burnout, or fatigue. But what if there's more to the Tetras than just working out? What we know of the Tetras in terms of history is fairly limited. It's only explicitly referenced by Roman-era authors, though historians believe that it goes back at least to the 3rd century BCE. They've come to this conclusion by referencing the fact that from the beginning quarter of the 3rd century BCE there was a very sharp drop of Olympian victors hailing from the two biggest Greek city-states, Sparta and Athens. They attribute this steep decline to the fact that the Tetras routine was popularized throughout Greece, and smaller city-states were able to produce Olympic victors because they learned to train more efficiently, and therefore bridge the gap of time and resources that these larger cities had an advantage in. Now, my thesis about where the Tetras may have originated, not necessarily when it came into practice, will also be speculative in a sense, due entirely to the lack of direct information passed on the subject, as exercise manuals written by actual trainers of the time were all purged with the destruction of ancient Hellenic culture. Still, I think this theory is possible and may have merit. For those that are new to the channel, the Tetras is a rotational 4-day program with scaling intensity. Each of the 4 days has a different purpose in terms of exercise, but the main differentiating factor is the level of volume and effort assigned to each day. Let's take day 1 as the day with the lowest intensity. This is the day associated with an active cooldown and has an intensity level of 25%. Day 2, which is associated with a focus on technique, either of an athletic profession or of the exercises themselves, has an intensity of 50%. Then the warm-up day has a 75% intensity since it leads to the final day where 100% effort is exerted. After the final day, we return to the active cooldown of day 1 and the cycle repeats. In other words, the intensity increases only by 25% each day, and after it reaches 100%, it resets. Of course, this is only a short rundown of what the Tetras entails, as a single day and even a single workout are all broken down into quadrants. Now, in the Regimen of Hippocrates, a work that historians generally debate whether he or his students wrote, he talks about the shifts in nutrition and exercise that he recommends should be applied between seasons, and he gets into specifics, not only about what to eat and how much to exercise, but also how food should be cooked, what time of day to work out, and what type of exercises to use depending on the season. Now, in our time, this might seem trivial to most people living with regulated temperatures, but for his time, this was revolutionary. The first season he mentions is winter, where he states that one should eat and exercise the most. He recommends only 1 proper meal a day, not including breakfast, 2 meals if someone is trying to gain weight with plenty of bread and roasted meats. Also, he assigns many walks, like in the morning, after eating, at night, and after exercise, and the exercises should be of all kinds, including running and wrestling. Then in the spring, he recommends bread to partially be substituted with barley in equal quantities, drinks to be more frequent, meat lessened, more vegetables, and minimal exercise. For the summer, drinks should only consist of water, bread is entirely substituted with barley, meat should be boiled in all cases, and he recommends an increase in exercise in comparison to spring, with wrestling indoors, tepid baths, circular runs, and early morning walks with short strolls in the evening. Finally, for autumn, he recommends exercising in a cloak, wrestling, massage, increased frequency in walks, while still avoiding extremes, a stop to daytime naps, and a diet with warm food, less diluted wine, and a mix of barley and bread. Now, if we were to break these seasons down for exercise alone, what he's ultimately saying is that for the winter, we have the most exercise, for the spring, the least exercise, for the summer, more exercise than spring, and for autumn, more exercise than summer, but less than winter. But if we were to take the Tetras, where day 1 is 25% intensity and day 4 is 100% intensity, then it is clear that winter is day 4, spring is day 1, summer is day 2, and autumn is day 3. In other words, the seasons are actually a Tetras in their own right, a macrocosm of the 4-day plan. This brings me to the albeit speculative thesis that the Tetras was actually modeled on Hippocrates' regimen of seasons. If you'd like to see the Tetras programs I created for each season, you can purchase them on Ko-Fi to help me reach the goal I have set to fund the authorship process of a book I'm trying to write for Routledge, the academic publisher. Each Tetras also includes a 4-day nutritional plan that is modeled according to the corresponding season, as suggested by Hippocrates. Of course, the workouts are modernized, but the principles are the same. If you're looking specifically for the 4 seasonal themed Tetras routines, these are October, which actually corresponds to summer and not autumn. I hadn't made the connection yet there. June is autumn, December is winter, and March and April are both spring. Keep in mind that all the foods listed in these plans also existed in ancient Greece, so they are a part of the Mediterranean diet. Every meal has its corresponding nutritional facts, and every day has a macronutrient breakdown. These daily plans are all around 2,000 calories, so you can add or remove specific ingredients if you want to lose or gain weight. It should be said here that it's likely a nutritional tetras also existed, where the caloric intake may have differed throughout the 4 days of the exercise routine. How such a tetras may have looked is unclear. I suspect it would be similar to caloric cycling, but this is something I would have to consult with a nutritionist before reaching any conclusions. Either way, if you don't have any underlying health issues preventing you from working out or trying a new nutritional plan, give it a try. The ancient Greek diet is limited in that many of the ingredients that we use today did not exist back then, but it is also an excellent way to eliminate unnecessary refined sugars, preservatives, and deep-fried foods from your diet. For more information, I do have a playlist of all the videos I've made on diet and exercise, as well as the nutritional plans and workout routines that you can find on Ko-Fi. Thanks in advance for any support on reaching this goal, and I will catch you in the next video. Cheers!